Oh, I just sat on my headset.
You sat on your helmet? Did you just say you sat on your helmet? No?
Alright, I'm back.
Did I just hear you say you sat on your helmet?
No, I sat on my headset.
It would have been funnier if it was the helmet.
I don't have a helmet.
You know, your helmet.
Yeah, my helmet. Good thing I
Uh,
didn't sit on one of my nuts.
that's kind of what I was referring to.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, instead of saying nuts. Shit.
Um,
Did you see my Stanley Cup Finals prediction?
yeah, Jets Bruins. Interesting.
Oh. Yep, I want at least one Canadian team in there, damn it. And I ain't cheering for the Flames.
Or Toronto.
Yeah, I'd like to see Toronto, but they ain't getting past Boston.
Oh, where's that trip call, ref? Obvious tripping.
You watching the? Oh, geez, Tampa came out to hit.
Good hit by Joseph. Good
Oh,
hit
here
by
we go.
Girardi.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh! Why did Dubnik get up and go punch Girardi? Girardi's not even the one who came in to hit him. It was McDonough.
Welcome. Yep, welcome to playoff hockey. The best. This is what I love about playoff hockey is these little skirmishes right here. Oh, I love it. I got to make a little some notes here, so.
I don't give two diddly fucks that Fortnite is updated.
You haven't played that in how long?
It's been a while.
It's been all right, Aaron.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while. That was a good, clean hit at center ice, and then here goes. Yeah, there, take that.
Dubinsky.
Yep, they're going after Dubinsky.
Hey, Ryan. Where's Fiddler?
That Fiddler. Oh yeah, that's right. Dubinsky and Girardi were former teammates in at the Rangers. Torts.
What are these, matching minors?
Probably. Maybe 5 for fighting.
Great one-hit wonder band.
Marcy Playground, Sex and Candy.
Well, you know, the show's been live for about 3 minutes now, and I haven't shared shit yet.
Hey, Kitty. My picks. I got.
It's been a while since I could stand.
It's supposed to be Joey Gase, but on my tablet it says Joey Base. Oops.
Let the bass cannon kick it.
Things can get down, Kitty.
All right.
Yep.
I'm gonna do a test hit here.
Yeah, go ahead. Like we're talking.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to. Hold on a second. Welcome to episode 58 of the Loose Lugs podcast. I'm your host AJ. With me, as always, is my co-host Double R, Ryan Rancola.
Big Papa Pump. That's right.
Test. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. More money.
All right.
Oh, breakaway! Score! Come on!
throwing the cat?
I moved him over.
No, you picked them up and you threw them.
Wow. What a terrible
Well,
turnover.
Is that Columbus on the power play?
Yep.
Daddy dropping his tablet. At 7:30, can you go to 212? That's the game I want to watch.
Penguins?
Islanders Penguins at Nassau Coliseum too. That place is going to be so freaking loud. See who I got with me?
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Polish, Zachary, Glenabir, Brandon, Steve. Who am I missing? Am I missing Tony? No, I got
Sarah.
Tony. I never sent it to Sarah because I just figure it goes off of yours.
Oh, okay.
But I'll send it to her this time, I guess.
Yeah, what do you want?
No, AJ sending you the link to watch the podcast.
I don't have my phone. I asked you what channel do you want.
Oh, 212. But that's not till 7:30.
Lay down.
Relax, Thor. Was there any pit road problems this weekend?
Denny Hamlin.
Like, oh yeah,
You had Kevin Harvick pre-race.
yeah. Bristol notes. I'm trying to think. I thought I had a good rant lined up, and I'm trying to think right now. Yeah, sure. Lay down, Thor. I'll be back in 1 second. Can refill my water bottle. There you go, Python. Yeah.
You okay?
Because I'm going to work off of it. So, I think Logan's going to be giving his input on the No, he's fine. Yes, don't worry about it. Everything's all good.
Wow. No Tony to start the show?
No Tony on the show. Hey, you don't care that you can hear Logan in the background, do you, AJ?
It's not an issue as long as it's like not constant.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. He's good. So.
Other than that, I can see what I can do to edit it.
He's just gonna give his opinions on the race.
I guess I gotta turn my TV down, eh? How is that not icing?
I don't know. Bobrovsky, Vasilevsky. Ranch.
You ready to roll intro?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's get it started. If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 58 of the Loose Lugs podcast. I'm your host, AJ. With me, as always, is my co-host, the non-playoff having in hockey co-host, Ryan. What's going on, Ryan?
Yeah, that's right, AJ. I don't have either dog in the fight. No Oilers, no Red Wings, but I'm still going to watch. I got the Tampa Bay Columbus game on right now, but man, great time of year. It's the best playoff sport around, bar none. People, if you want to talk about it on the podcast page, I'll put it. Give me a good 7-game hockey playoff. Teams going at it, physical, hitting the extracurricular after the whistle any day of the week over basketball, football, baseball.
And Tony, our resident Maple Leaf fan in here, has wished me good luck in our series. You know.
Yeah.
I'm taking Bruins in 6, but good luck to you as well, Tony. You want to know something crazy? This was a stat that was brought up today on the radio. Out of the last 20 games of the regular season, the 2 worst goalies out of anybody in the playoffs was Raskin Anderson. The bottom 2, and this is behind both Calgary goalies. It was like a nuts stat I saw, and I was like, oh, we could be in for a long one.
It sounds like, from what they were saying earlier on NHL Live, that Calgary's going to trot both goaltenders out in the first round. Whoever has the hotter hand, they're going to run with. But see, right now, Tampa Bay, they got their goalie in Vasilevsky. Columbus has Bobrovsky, Holtby in Washington, so goaltending is definitely key in the playoffs. Right, that hot goalie.
Yeah, I'm just so excited. I'm watching the Lightning Columbus game right now, and I've missed playoff hockey. It's been a long hockey season.
I'll tell you what, the series of the first round is going to be Pittsburgh and the Islanders. The Islanders playing the games at Nassau Coliseum. That place is going to be on fire.
You know, I did my picks for the playoff bracket.
I couldn't sign up. So.
And after today, I'm kind of looking back on my picks and wondering, because out of all the goalies that are hot right now, that Nashville-Dallas series looks very interesting in the sense of Ben Bishop has the best save percentage of any playoff goalie coming into the playoffs. That's crazy. That's a wild card team that I could look, because goaltending, let's face it, goaltending wins you games.
Yes, it does.
You know, if you don't have a good goalie, you're not going to go far in the playoffs. That sounds like a duh statement right there, but it's just Ben Bishop played for the Lightning. I think he's a super strong goalie, especially when it comes down to crunch time.
Yeah.
I'm debating now why I picked Nashville over Dallas. I think that could be a big upset.
Exactly. How ironic would it be if it was Tampa Bay Dallas in the Stanley Cup Finals Ben Bishop versus the old mates in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tony thinks it's going to be a cup rematch this year, Washington and Vegas, but I think Vegas needs to get knocked down a notch or two.
Yeah, they gotta. I think that them in San Jose. I think that might go 6. They still got Vegas with the notch on that one. My Stanley Cup Finals is the Winnipeg Jets, and I know AJ's gonna probably throw the hat off and do the helicopter, but it's gonna be the Boston Bruins. I think. I just something about them. The young kids are playing well. Pasta is playing out of his mind right now. So
yeah, Marchand 100-point scorer this year.
Yep, Marchand 100 points. Yeah, so playoff hockey. Here we go.
I went with the homer pick when I did my bracket. I picked Boston to win the cup over Calgary. I've got Calgary going all the way because Calgary by far has been the best team out there in the West Side. There was something else that I was going to bring up. Oh, Tampa. Do they not? Yeah. I was talking with Tony in our chat about this a couple nights ago. Does Tampa not remind you of the San Jose on the East Side?
A little bit.
They play such a strong regular season. Then when it comes to the playoffs, they have a solid round, and then they go.
Well, they asked a question on Around the Horn today. That who do you want, Tampa Bay or the Field? Give me the Field any day of the week. Look at all these stud teams for the Field. Nashville, Winnipeg, Vegas, Pittsburgh, Washington. Your Stanley Cup champions of last year. It's going to be a fun playoffs. I'm looking forward to watching them.
Yeah, and then we had WrestleMania this week too. This past Sunday.
Yes, we did, and I know last week's show, I voiced a little displeasure of how much I was going to watch it, which I ended up watching the entire card.
I told you last week how I was I was just not excited for WrestleMania, and then I watched from kickoff show to end. I was truly entertained. I got to say it was above what I expected.
Yes, it was, and
lightning goal again.
Yep. I was just getting ready to announce that because as AJ and I watch TV together, I'm like 10 seconds maybe ahead of his. It's kind of funny. So, but I was thoroughly impressed with WrestleMania. The Shane McMahon Miz match, I loved the finish of that match. Triple H and Batista put on a great match, good story. But I thought the match of the night was Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston. And if you get a chance to go back, I don't know if you can because it was on pre-show, the Cruiserweight title match between Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese. I
watched that. It was good.
Was a great match, great counter wrestling, good Cruiserweight high-flying action. I enjoyed that one as well.
The more I think about it, the more I enjoyed the main event of that card. The women's triple threat, I thought, looking back at it, was actually a really good match.
Yes, it was.
You had there was another one on there, like John Cena coming back as the Doctor of Thugonomics was awesome. Great. I enjoyed them kicking off with Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar. Like they said, you want to be in a memorable spot on a WrestleMania card because every match is a main event caliber match. So yes, why not kick things off when the crowd is still, on fire? Instead of being like the second to last match or something like that. And that's where, honestly, I thought they screwed up with the Bryan-Kofi match. That should have preceded the triple threat match, but...
Yeah, Go ahead.
I just didn't know about maybe... I thought the Batista-Triple H match should have been in the spot where the Bryan match was.
Yeah, because it always happens every year at WrestleMania. There's always a match that the crowd is so hyped for, like... This year, obviously, it was Kofi Kingston. And they were going Kofi the entire match almost. Like, the crowd was so into that match that the matches after that, like, the crowd was, it seemed to me like they were flat on their face. Like, they were just like, we'll cheer when we want to cheer. But because I personally think that Kofi thing almost, like, took away from the whole Becky Lynch aspect of what that meant.
Can we just go out there and say that WrestleMania as a whole was too long?
Yeah, 12:30 on a Sunday evening.
They didn't kick off that match till about midnight.
Yeah.
And it was did you know that main event wasn't the longest match of the night?
No. I think Triple H and Batista was
Triple H
the
Batista was the longest, and they weren't even the second longest. I don't think. I think the second longest was Bryan and Kofi.
Yep.
So it was a really good show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was thoroughly entertained. I don't know if you've watched it yet, AJ, but the NXT show from Friday night. If you guys want to see some
Tony, hold on. I'm going to cut you out here, Ryan. Tony, it better not go 8 hours next year because I plan on being there. And if it goes 8 hours, that's a job, my friend. That is a 9 to 5 job.
Yes, it is. But I tell you what, though. I mean, the NXT show Friday night, the beginning match for the NXT tag titles match was great. All the way to the 2 out of 3 falls for the NXT title. All great matches on Friday night.
NXT was the only show from the weekend I didn't see. And then I fell asleep during the Raw after Mania just because the night before, not being able to go and get into bed till 12:45, and then being up early for work, like come 9:30 that Monday, I was out. I was done. KO'd.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to do a little bit of a Ryan's rant right here. I know we do this later on in the show because we are a NASCAR podcast, but I want to rant right now. During the Hall of Fame, so they switched the Hall of Fame up this year to have it inside the ring. Decent concept, cool concept. But during the Hart Foundation speech, some idiot decides to go into the ring, tackles Bret Hart, and he was there with Natalia. She goes down too. And it's like, what the hell is this guy doing? And then Ronda Rousey's husband jumps in there, starts pounding this dude. What kind of idiot are you to stop this? It's the Hall of Fame. Nothing's supposed to happen at these events. Security, they got past the security to get into the ring. Where's the security at?
It was just like the G1 show with Enzo and Cass.
Yeah.
Bubba Ray was pissed.
Exactly. I just don't get it. I mean, you're going to get your ass kicked, which is clearly this guy did. I don't know if you've seen the video yet, but Dash Wilder of the Revival just gives this guy a straight uppercut, and his legs went wobbly after that. And I'm like, oh, man, serves him right.
It wasn't a bad show. It was not a bad show. I watched the Hall of Fame back Monday.
Oh, all right.
And I think the network actually cut that part out. Not surprising.
Oh yeah, no, they cut a lot of videos that you've seen are from fans in the stands or anybody there, but like you've seen like all these superstars come into the ring, and like I said, Ronda Rousey husband, I can't remember.
He's an MMA fighter though.
Yeah, I can't remember what the hell the dude's name is. Like, having a brain fart here. Let me check. But Saturday, before I forget, we took Logan to see the Easter Bunny, and that went really good. He slept through the whole thing. So
that's sometimes the best, though, especially at like a young age, though.
Exactly.
Bringing a kid to see, always when you go to see the holiday peoples.
Yes, from Santa Claus, the
from
Easter
Santa
Bunny.
Claus, the Easter Bunny. I think that's all they ever bring there. But it's always a scary time for a kid for their first time.
Oh, of course.
But with that being said, Ryan, what?
Travis Brown, maybe? Yeah, Travis Brown is who she's married to. Yeah, so former heavyweight UFC champion was one of the first guys in the ring knocking this dude around.
So with that, on Sunday before WrestleMania and all this nonsense, we had some short track racing from Bristol. Ryan, what do you say we get into it with a little gas and go?
All right.
Gas and Go is the point of the show where we go over the past race weekend and start kicking things off. On Saturday, we had the NASCAR Xfinity Series, where Christopher Bell, who seems like he wins every race Kyle Busch has not entered in, besides the one that Cole Custer won, he gets the Dash for Cash win. Very entertaining race too, Ryan. And Christopher Bell didn't have the best car in that Xfinity race. I thought it was Justin Allgaier. He
I agree
absolutely
100%.
he absolutely dominated that race, but once he got some mechanical failures and got the car in the wall, his day was over. Christopher Bell takes advantage and gets the win.
Yeah, I missed we watched all the way up to the end of stage two. That's when we went to go see the Easter Bunny. But I came back and rewatched it. But yeah, like you said, Justin Allgaier, the 7 car was dialed in, mechanical issues, and you could definitely tell when he got out of that race car how frustrated he was, throwing the helmet, the steering wheel, slamming the hood of the car, and the hauler door as well.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because that team's been struggling a little bit recently in a sense of they've had very fast cars, very competitive cars, and it's just late in the race. It seems either he's getting into a wreck with somebody else, like to nothing of his cause,
Yep.
all the way to now this week mechanical failures. It's frustrating.
Very frustrating.
Speaking of guys who had some frustrating encounters to wrecks of nothing of their doing, Ross Chastain, man, that was a tough lick he had there.
Yeah, it was, and I just wrong place at the wrong time though. That's the thing though about Bristol. You're 1 minute you're running, minding your own business. Next thing you know, a car spins in front of you. You have nowhere to go because the reaction time split second at Bristol. And I remember a couple years ago, it was Kevin Harvick leading, and a couple lap cars had spun out, and he had nowhere to go. It took him out, and I think Kurt Busch was running in second. Because that's how quickly they come up onto these cars. It's insane, especially being there in person. How quickly they come up is pretty cool to watch. Can you hear me?
I'm sitting here talking with a muted microphone.
Okay, all right. I was like, we did it again. Oops.
Excuse that dead air for a second. No, what I was saying was I forget who it was that Ross Chastain ended up wrecking with. I was talking to you about it last
Green.
night.
I think it was Jeff Green.
Well,
I think it was one of the Green brothers.
I was saying with my microphone muted that we're talking a lot about these Xfinity regulars, being that it was a Dash for Cash race and with no Cup drivers. I thought this was one of the most entertaining Xfinity races of the season because you don't know who's going to win these things.
Yeah, exactly.
When you get Cup guys in there, you know by lap 10 who's going to win.
Who has the most dominant car going into the race, too. Especially if you watch all the practices. Okay, this guy's going to show a little something during the race. And by the way, yes, it was Jeff Green, the number 38 car that was involved with Ross Chastain.
So, yeah, and it was unfortunate for Ross. It's just he's always in the wrong place at the wrong time, it seems.
Oh yeah.
But it was an entertaining race once again, as we said. I would like more races without Cup regulars in these Xfinity races. But sponsorship dollars and all that, it's inevitable. It's going to keep happening.
That it is.
So your stage winners in this one: first stage, Justin Allgaier; second stage, Justin Allgaier; your race winner, Christopher Bell. Your top 5: Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Cole Custer, Chase Briscoe, and John Hunter Nemechek. Ryan, we're going to try it this week. We're going to try it with no failure. Your standings following Bristol: Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Cole Custer, Michael Annett, Austin Cindric, Justin Allgaier, Brandon Jones, Chase Briscoe, John Hunter Nemechek, Noah Gregson, Ryan Sieg, and Justin Haley. I did not screw it up.
How about that? But there was a couple spin outs. But yeah, like you said, all in all, an entertaining race. A lot of passing going out there on the track. The restarts again. I think no matter what race, what track we're going to, I think the restarts are going to be some of the most fun things to watch all year. And like you said, there was racing back in the pack. Like we said, Allgaier, great car. Issues open up the door for Bell, who what is that, $100,000? I think it is for the Dash for Cash. And he's talking to Mike again.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to answer people. We got a big event coming up this weekend.
I gotcha.
So, trying to get everything squared away while doing the show. It's crazy.
Yes, it is.
But yes, I think it is Was it 100? We said you said.
Yeah, 100,000. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think that's what it is too. Your next race is Richmond this coming Friday, 7:00 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Is that another Dash for Cash race, Ryan?
I do believe it is. I think that Talladega, and I do believe Dover is the other Dash for Cash race. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, because then we have the off weekend coming up.
Yep, I know Richmond is the Dash for Cash.
Well, I think that does it for the Xfinity side. Ryan, you got anything more to add from that?
No, not really.
Moving on, we have the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, and Kyle Busch, who wrecks on lap 3, comes back to win at Bristol from wrecked to first.
Yeah, unbelievable.
You know, that craziest part of that, it was a wacky start to begin with in that race. But that first wreck, Eric Almirola gets involved with it. I don't know what had happened to his car, but he got up in the fence as the Lightning score again to make it 3-0.
Yep.
That game's just about over in the first period.
I know, my remote's so far away right now. I can't reach it because I want to turn on the other game.
So Almirola goes to the garage after the wreck. I think he had a mechanical problem that sent him up into the fence, kind of like what happened to Justin Allgaier on Saturday.
Yeah.
But being that he hit the wall and was a part of that caution, him going to the garage caused him to be out of the race completely due to the damage policy that they have, which was unfortunate because that was such a weird way to start. Almirola had a solid car, I thought, going into this race. It was just one of those weird deals where the rules come back to bite you.
I think because NASCAR said that he hit the wall, even though it was a mechanical issue, even though he hit the wall, they deemed it as being involved in a wreck. And I think they need to go, back on this rule just a little bit, tweak it up a little bit. I mean, okay, if I pop a tire and I hit the wall, that's one thing. But if I break an oil line or a brake line or something like that, but it can be replaced, let them replace it. Let them go out there, get the points, because we know how much points they're meaning now, especially with the playoffs now. I mean, who's to say this race might cost Almirola a shot at the playoffs? I mean, he may win a race still, but it may cost a playoff. Yeah,
I gotta look where I have him in the where the standings were. I think he's still in the playoffs at this point, but it was. He is. But it was definitely it hurts, especially like with momentum and stuff like that. You like lap 3 of a 500 lap race, you're already out of the car and heading home.
Well, at least he beat traffic.
We'll go with that.
Very next. Way, I want to mention something. I thought it was pretty cool. They had DW wave the green flag.
Yeah, there was a lot of really cool things and controversial things too that came from this. I saw a lot of people complaining about the DW thing, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later in the tire rub segment. I might have a rant.
Nice.
The ensuing restart, about 30 laps after the restart, we had Ryan Preece having issues. And boy, did I tell you this was going to happen, or did I tell you this was going to happen?
Hey, you did.
Chase Elliott starts on the pole. He's leading. He's led every lap up to this point. And I kept seeing Ryan Preece's car with the tire smoke every time he'd enter the turn. I'm like, Chase is going to go around or try to go around him, and there's going to be a problem. Well, Chase didn't try to go around him. Instead, Ryan Preece has a problem where the tire goes down fully. He spins around. Chase slams on the brakes to check up and gets hit in the back by, was it Corey LaJoie in the 32?
Yes. Yeah, Corey LaJoie.
And like you said earlier, it's Bristol. There, you don't have a chance to really think and react when something happens like that so quickly because it's such a small area. And when that happened, it sent Chase around, somehow just barely kissed the inside wall. But couldn't bounce back after that due to power steering issues, among other things going on with that car. I just I remember messaging you in a very angry fan way. And
Just a little bit.
I'm not going to say anything more than that because I said some things that I may not mean.
Oh yeah, that you did.
But I was very pissed off.
Yeah, AJ for folks that are listening to the show right now. AJ was probably red in the face as he was sending me this message. Oh boy.
I like to say I'm a very calm person.
Sometimes.
But that just
that
put me at 11.
Play Fortnite.
That put me at an 11. So
yeah.
But it happens. It's just one of those things that happens at short track races. It's gonna happen.
Nature of the beast.
Unfortunate side, it was my driver, but he still rebounded. Up until that late issue with Ryan Newman that we'll discuss here.
Yep.
In a little bit. But I do like to say I knew that was going to happen. But we were talking about Ryan Newman. He was kind of in Blaney's way among everyone else's way.
That's the kind of guy he is.
It always seems like whenever there's close racing going on, it's Ryan Newman that's in the middle of it. And that's, like you said, that is just how he races. And
yeah, exactly. He like, hey, I'm not letting you pass me. I'm getting paid for you not to pass me.
It can piss you off as a fan because, he could be holding up your driver. But you got to give credit where it's due. That man races everybody for every position, whether he's a lap down or he's on the lead lap going for the win. He will race you no different on lap 1 than he would at lap 500.
And he still finished 9th in this race, too.
But that was a special incident right there because...
Oh yeah,
Blaney comes up the track. Newman Chase had a run on Newman, and he gets in the back of Newman, who then gets a giant bump into Blaney. It sends everyone into a frenzy over there. But like you said, Newman rebounds for a 9th place finish out of that.
Yep.
So
I don't know if you've seen the comments after it. Newman and Blaney on pit road. Blaney's like, oh, you kind of ran me up the track or something like that, and they were joking about it because everybody's like, oh, it's Bristol, they're going to throw down. They joked about it. I thought it was pretty funny. So
hey, it's Bristol, baby.
Uh-huh.
That's just the nature of the beast.
Exactly. I have nothing wrong with hard racing. I really don't. I think it's what's made the sport popular for ages and ages right now. But yeah, I mean, Byron struggled again, started early in that traction compound. I think it's time to do away with the traction compound.
I'm surprised you say that, Ryan, because we had a lot of drivers saying this weekend that they, like Clint Boyer after the race was saying it. It's like they finally found the right mix of the PJ1 to put down there. And I thought so too, because I thought you had multiple lanes that were working. Kyle Busch running the high side was better than, Joey Logano running the low side.
Yep.
But Logano couldn't run the high side like Kyle Busch could, and that's late in the race. That's what hurt him.
I noticed that late in the race too, that Kurt Busch, because Kyle was running the low line too, but then Kurt started running the high line, and then that's when Kyle went back up there, and that's when Kurt hit the wall, and that was that. That's all she wrote on that. That was such an
entertaining. Like, I thought after the race, Kurt Busch said that he was ready to wreck him, and I think he would have too.
Well, I think he would have too.
Had it come down to that, and like I think Kurt said after the race, he's got 50-something wins in this series, or he's got 200-something career wins out here. I don't think getting wrecked by his little brother would hurt him anything for the win.
No, not at all. And I just switched over. We have a 1-1 game. We have a 1-1 game in Long Island. So entertaining stuff. So, but yeah, very entertaining race. Definitely wish I was there. So
you were mentioning to me last night about some loose wheels. Why don't you get into the drivers that had some loose wheel problems, and along with the Kevin Harvick penalty?
Yeah, we got Kevin Harvick failed the pre-race. Oh man, I can't talk right now. The pre-race inspection. I couldn't think of it. There's that word right there. Yeah, so he failed the pre-race inspection 3 times, had to go to the rear of the field. Crew member was ejected from the race. Then he had to do the drive-through penalty that cost him. He ended up getting back on the lead lap, which was impressive.
He
Penalty
benefited
report
from that first caution
that he did.
greatly. He did.
Yes, he did. Oh, yeah.
Because had it not been for that caution, he would have easily been 2 to 3 laps down.
Exactly. We have 2 penalties were assessed from Bristol this past weekend. Crew chief for Joe Gibbs Racing, Cole Pern, for the Truex was fined 10 grand for the section 10.9, 10.4 of the rule book, tires and wheels, lug nuts not properly installed.
Thank you for the sponsorship.
Yep, we appreciate that. And then Chris Gabehart for Denny Hamlin, same thing with Cole Pern, each fined 10 grand each, no suspension. Both penalties were for one loose or missing lug nut, so we appreciate the shout out. And I noticed that this weekend too, AJ. I don't know if you did. A lot of loose wheels, a lot of green flag pit stops. Is this the problem with the pit guns again, or could there be another issue somewhere
Just
with
drivers
the lug
getting
nuts?
an edge, man. That's all it is. Drivers trying to find that edge. Pit crews trying to find that edge. That's all that is. I put these two things next to each other, Ryan, to kind of go off of what I said last week. Denny Hamlin had pit road issues, and Kyle Larson was in the wall again.
Yes, he was. I think Larson hit the wall first before the Hamlin penalty, by the way, if I'm not mistaken.
But it just leads back to what I said last week. What's more likely to happen in a race? Denny Hamlin with a pit road penalty, or Kyle Larson getting in the wall one way or another? So
exactly. By the way, you guys can thank Sarah for finding that information out for me early this morning.
Very good.
Hey, did a clap for you, honey.
2 claps and a Ric Flair.
Oh, 2 claps and a Ric Flair.
Side note. Have you seen Ric Flair's new Dunkin' Donuts commercial?
I have not.
It's pretty much just him wooing with subtitles underneath it. It's hilarious. They've been playing it on the Boston sports radio station I listen to, but then on their TV station that they run a simulcast of their radio shows on, they have the actual video to the commercial. It's hilarious.
Oh, nice.
It was a very entertaining race, Ryan. Unfortunately, everyone was talking this weekend about the fan turnout, and this race is synonymous for getting either rain shortened or being rained out. Another thing that not everybody knows yet is that Bristol wasn't selling tickets for the turns this year. They're only selling front stretch, back stretch. And I mentioned to you, we're at a spring Bristol race, and tickets are the same price as they are for Daytona at $120 at the lowest from what I saw to $160, $170. Like that's a little insane. That not everyone can swing that on a random weekend in April.
And I was telling you, what was it the other night? The most I could spend tickets at MIS anywhere from $40 to like $160. The most I spent, I did the Truex Junior Q&A last year, which was great season, $100. Okay, that's fine. But you got like we've said in the past, family of 4, you want to go and you're spending $160 a pop times 4 people. That's a nice chunk of change right there, if you ask me.
Yeah. Was it Atlanta that had reduced ticket prices I saw this week?
Yes. Atlanta has reduced their ticket prices, which is good.
That's great. I want to see more tracks do that.
I think especially the first go around, so to speak. Okay, you're going to draw attendance for the night race because the night race, well, it's the night race in Bristol. That's all I'm going to say about that. But
next year it's a playoff race.
Yeah, next year's going to be a playoff race. Okay, you can have the tickets for that race up high. Daytona 500. Okay, you can have your tickets priced what you normally do. The what is it? The Coke Zero 4. I almost called it the Pepsi 400. Coke Zero 400 have those tickets at a lower price.
Those tickets that I paid for last year to sit as high up as I did, where I could see the entire racetrack, and the higher up you go to plate track, the more expensive the tickets are. $120. Perfect.
With MIS.
I could have sat lower level of Daytona for $60. Like
I didn't know that.
that is a perfect ticket price for the fan that just wants to go out there, see these cars go around the track, see if they can meet some of the drivers and get out there. Even hotels get expensive, but race weekend, you got to understand it's going to be a higher price ticket. Here's a different idea. If you camp out at a racetrack, that includes, for some tracks, your ticket price.
Talladega has free camping too, I've heard.
So, I don't know if it's so much free camp. Like, if you're bringing an RV or something, I'm assuming you got to pay to get that in there.
Oh, on the infield, yeah. So
Yeah, but like campgrounds outside the track, I don't know because I've never done it before. But
I have.
But for the fans that like to complain about, hotel ticket prices are expensive, there's a better option. Go camp out. Camp out. It includes your ticket prices. It's probably cheaper than buying the tickets to the race for your family and then paying for the hotel afterwards.
Yep, our good friend Tony knows all about camping out at the racetrack.
He was telling me that story, the full story of that last week.
Oh yeah. And it was his first race experience too. And I told him, I'm like, Tony, I know what to expect during the racing and anytime cars are on track. But the camping experience, this is new to me too. But oh man, if we have a fun weekend camping, I can't wait to take Logan out there camping. Hopefully someday soon, have him have the experience that I did. So.
Me and my buddy were talking about Daytona for next year, doing a camp out deal there, just because you have so much fun.
Do you have campgrounds at Daytona, besides the infield? Is there any around?
Yeah, right when you get off 95, you see all the campsites outside the track. So it's
to the track.
Not terrible, because right when you get off I-95, I think it's a mile, maybe mile and a half, 2 miles.
That's not bad
is the track on the right hand side. But another thing they do is they run shuttles all day long.
Oh, okay, that would be nice. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
So you're not hurting any. Like what we do when we go, we get our regular seats in the track. They have one parking lot there. It's free to park there all day long. They have buses running from the time the track opens to the time the track closes, even longer after. Like, I think they were running buses there till 12 a.m., 1 o'clock in the morning, where was how long these buses were running. But they shuttle you from this free parking lot all the way to the track for absolutely nothing.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they after the show here, I'll send you a satellite image of where our campsite was. Put it this way, I slept in front seat of a Dodge Durango because my one buddy bought a tent, sleeps 4 comfortably. Okay, you got 4 grown-ass men. That's not going to happen. I'm like, all right. I'm like, just keep we rented a Dodge Durango to go out there. I just leaned the seat back, fell asleep in there. Sun comes up, starting to get warm. I opened my eyes, and I could see the grandstand straight across the street. All we had to do is walk across an overpass, and we were right on onto the where the trailers are. Could see our section of our seats from where our campsite was. Unbelievable weekend, and it was only $100 to camp out there, and then you could come out there that Monday after the Pocono race.
I guess the main point I'm trying to make here is that it's not. You can't always blame it on the prices of things. It's also, you got to put into effect weather outlook in the historical weather points of these weekends that come up. Yep. I don't think we saw the sun in Bristol come out until about 50 to go on Sunday.
Yeah, they're like, and the sun's come out.
Like, that was the first time the sun came out all weekend long. So
the rain did stay away, though. That's the thing.
The rain did stay away, correct. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like Atlanta. That race every year just seems like it's tied together with rain, just like Martinsville in the spring.
And I'm glad they got rid of move the Atlanta race, by the way.
Yeah, I think you're going to have better weather outlook. Like, there was someone who put a chart out there of what the the chances of rain / snow compared to where the date was to where it is now for next year. They really increased the chances of getting every race in without having any delays or whatever. So
Exactly, and I love it too. So, um, speaking of weather, I mean we're still in our yeah. Go on.
Yeah,
I'll do
let me just get through this real quick, and then we can continue
my
our banner here. Your stage winners, first stage, awesome stage finish in the first stage.
awesome finish too. Awesome
Ty
finish.
Dillon over Clint Boyer. That was awesome.
Side by side, that would have been a great finish. To
Ty
the
Dillon
race.
treated that thing like it was the checkered flag of the race, like of
Yeah.
the entire race. He was on the door of Clint Boyer trying to get that stage win.
on cloud nine.
Second stage, Joey Logano, and your race winner was Kyle Busch. Your top 5 found this race: Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, and Denny Hamlin. Your standings following Bristol: Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., Kurt Busch, Eric Almirola, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Clint Boyer, Daniel Suarez, Jimmy Johnson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Ryan Newman. Your next race is Richmond this coming Saturday, our first Saturday night race of the year, Saturday night short track style, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't have this one on FS1.
It would. It's really surprising, actually. I think we've only had one race on FS1, 2 races this year.
Martinsville and Bristol.
That was the only 2 races this year so far in FS1, so not terrible.
I think the FS1 Fortune's getting ready to take over though when they do. I think Charlotte for the All Star race, and then like Kansas or something like that's on FS1. So
yeah. What were you going to continue with there, Ryan, on the point you were making?
The weather in Richmond this weekend. Just to do my annual Ryan's weather report. That for right now they got rain Friday and Saturday, but it's all scattered. So hopefully the rain stays away and we see some more good short track racing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What do you say we get into some tire rub, Ryan? We got a couple news points to hit on this week.
Yes, we do.
Left side. Pull this left fender out, left side.
Tire Rub is playing the show where we go over the news of the week. Kicking things off on our news segment, Joey Gase is running a badass Sam Bass tribute car for Richmond this weekend. I was really hoping as a diecast collector this one would be offered, but unfortunately Lionel Racing came out today and said it will not be offered as a diecast, just a tribute to Sam Bass.
I understand that. I mean,
you got to get licensing for that kind of thing.
Yeah, you do. So,
but the car, just so I can describe it to you guys who haven't seen it yet, it's artwork of different races, programs, cars that Sam Bass designed, and it's just like a collage on this car. If you remember back to Joey Logano's Penske tribute car, how it had the different moments from Penske, which I have the I think it's the All-Star Race diecast back behind me somewhere. It was a really cool car. They're doing the same thing with Joey Gase this weekend, and it's a tribute to Sam Bass. And like we said a couple weeks ago, Sam Bass, what a legend of NASCAR he was.
Yes, he was.
And honestly, if they ever have a chance for him to get in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, he damn well deserves to be in there.
I agree 110%. And AJ, I have some news for you.
Like breaking news?
Not really breaking news, but I want to announce this news. So I think it's pretty cool to see Natalie Decker has been added to 6 more truck races this year.
Interesting. She needs to get some more seat time.
Yes, and and the team that she was driving for, David Gilliland, I think they collaborated. It's like, let's get this kid into some more races. Her first race back is going to be at Dover. So when the truck races in, 3 weeks now, 4 weeks, something like that, she will be back behind the wheel.
Well, that's awesome.
So I'm glad to see. I tweeted. I sent her a tweet this because she announced it on her Twitter. I'm like, congratulations, awesome to see you back in the truck for X amount of races now. Awesome to see. Keep up the good hard work and keep your head up. So,
nice, very nice, Ryan.
Definitely.
Brad Keselowski, his post-race comments, he was not a happy camper following Bristol.
No, he wasn't. And
I gotta say, I kind of agree with some of the things he said.
I'm going to keep this short and sweet because this is later on in the program. So go on to the next news.
Okay.
So it's part of the rant.
Dale Jr. joins the Indy 500 broadcast team.
Why not? He works for NBC. They have Rusty Wallace on ABC and ESPN calling IndyCar races.
The amount of criticism I saw from IndyCar fans of Dale Jr. being there, I'm like, whoa, 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 what?
Really? They're going to criticize Dale Jr.
Hey,
being there?
just remember, Dale Jr. gave us this little ditty.
Slide job. Trying to take the lead away. Slide job.
I love that slide job sound effect.
I can't hear it though. That's the part that makes me mad is I can't hear.
Like, can you imagine that in an IndyCar? Like,
oh yeah,
it's gonna be slide job central.
I per se I don't see him in the broadcast booth. I
Maybe
think
in one of the turns or something like that. Pit road reporter, one of those things.
maybe on the pit box. They'll probably bring the Peacock pit box for it, and he'll be up there. So, because they had junior Paul Tracy.
Danica's gonna be a part of it.
Yeah, who? Don't get me started. But junior Paul Tracy and I can't remember the other announcer with him and Lee Diffie. I always have a terrible time remember his name.
Lee Diffie?
But no, not Lee Diffie. I know Lee Diffie. It's the other guy.
Lee Diffie calls a great race. I just want to put that out there.
Yes, he does. Time to bring the action.
But I think it's a great thing to have Dale Jr. call an IndyCar race just because he does so well in a broadcast role for NASCAR. And I think people look at this and say, oh, well, he's a NASCAR guy coming to call IndyCar. What does he know about what? Hold on a second. This dude could call any type of racing. He could probably call golf if he wanted to.
Oh, man, imagine Junior calling golf this weekend at the Masters.
If it's got 4 wheels and an engine, Dale Jr. can broadcast on it almost as good as, if not better, than some of the regular guys that they have do it. So that's just my 2 cents on it.
Yeah.
How about Darrell Waltrip announcing retirement after 2019? I know it was speculated last week. We talked a great deal on it during the show. I hate to see so many people bashing Darrell Waltrip. We've done this countless times on here where we say it gets old, it gets repetitive. Yeah. A lot of people have had it with the hee-haw jokes that he kind of tends to make.
Or well, when I was in the car, when I was in the, I mean, yeah.
But here's the thing. Darrell Waltrip is a legend race car driver. Hands down, NASCAR Hall of Fame.
No one's ever been 7 straight at Bristol.
He has taken Fox as a broadcast standpoint for the last 19 years, and he has helped with Mike Joy and Larry McReynolds carry that to where it is today. And I don't care what anybody says, NASCAR still pulls 1-point-something million viewers every week, a weekly basis.
Yep.
And it's, Barney Hall was the voice of NASCAR. No doubt about it. Darrell Waltrip is the broadcast voice of NASCAR.
Yes, he is.
When you think of Fox memorable moments, you can just remember Darrell Waltrip just screaming in the background, hooting and hollering about, a close finish on who he thought won.
Yep.
And another thing that Darrell Waltrip does that I think he does a lot better than other people is the stories he gets from the garage area before a race. He's down there, he's talking to all these drivers and all that.
Yes, he is.
And he gets some stories about some of these guys that you don't necessarily get from other people, along with stories from when he was in the car. I get he's been out of the car for so long, but he's good for the stories that he tells about when he was in the car. I thought it was a great tribute that Darrell did, that Bristol did for Darrell at Bristol, waving the green flag. I hope other tracks do that, because that's an awesome way to kick off the race. It's a new twist to the boogity 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 that he does to start a race.
You can barely hear it because the cars are going by.
That's awesome. Congratulations to Darrell Waltrip on a great career, great broadcasting career. Wish him nothing but the best in whatever he does in the future.
I know he said he wanted to spend time with the grandchildren now, which he's still going to be going to races. Don't get me wrong. I know he's going to be there. So, but like you said, it does get repetitive at times. But guess what? That's just the kind of cat that he is. The one thing that it bothered me to a little bit, but when Dylan had the problem. I think it was at Vegas or California where they thought the engine blew and all when it was just a tire. Okay, you got a little excited. It happens. All announcers do it. But no, like you said, AJ, I couldn't have said it any better. You know, he's been with Fox since day one, since the beginning when they signed on to do NASCAR. He's been, gives you the knowledge to know everything. And I, like you said, wish him nothing but the best.
And just so we don't get this twisted here, I'm not taking anything away from Mike Joy or Larry McReynolds when I say he's really been the voice of the broadcast team, because Mike Joy and Larry McReynolds are right there with him.
Oh, I love Larry Mack.
It's just like Mike Joy has called some of the best moments in NASCAR history. 20 years of trying. That was him.
Yeah, yep.
So, not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying, when you think of the Fox broadcast team, you think Darrell Waltrip, boogity, 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 let's go racing. The man had his own intro song for Fox back in like 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. He's synonymous for broadcasting and NASCAR. But continue, Ryan.
But like we said, we wish him nothing but the best. Question I have to ask you: who does Fox get to replace him?
Man, to be honest with you, I'd love a guy like Kenny Wallace in there. To be perfectly honest with you,
Kenny would be great. I'd tell you who I want in there. I want Fox to throw money at Junior. Junior can work for both networks. Why not?
I just don't see them doing anything like that.
I don't think NBC would be dumb enough to let him go over to Fox.
You've got guys from MRN, PRN that could easily fill that role,
Bagley, man.
You got Bagley. We just talked about him, Lee Diffie. Man, the 3 races he called for NASCAR. I mean, I get he's not a color guy. You need a color guy in there.
Yeah.
But just the races that he called.
Driver that people I've seen rumors that it could be Michael Waltrip. Okay, I'd be all right with Mikey doing it. Mikey's grown on me throughout the years. There's talks of Jamie McMurray. I don't know how necessarily I feel about that, but
you need a guy who brings like his personality to it.
Yeah,
like
another Kenny Wallace, perfect.
Let's put it this way: you got Mike Joy. Mike Joy, play-by-play guy. He calls the shots. Oh, everything that goes on, he calls. Jeff Gordon, insight of what it's like to be in the car, driving at these speeds. What's going on with the cars. But that middle guy, where Darrell Waltrip's role is, you need someone who has their own personality, who can bring some comedic relief among other things, and that's where I think to bring Kenny Wallace back would be awesome.
I think they might give it back to Larry Mack.
Larry Mack, another one.
Yeah, you could have Gordon, like you said, be the guy that's been in the car before. Larry Mack, he's going to be your crew chief. Okay, I think they're going to come to pit road here, give you the analysis, all the rules too. I think they might do that with Larry Mack again.
And another thing that you were talking about, it could be, we don't know yet, but a driver that retires at the end of this year could be it.
A lot of rumors are going around.
Here's something, Ryan. Greg Biffle is slated to run a couple truck races for Kyle Busch. Why not have a guy like him come in there and fill that role?
Or you know what they could do? You know how on this Xfinity races they do Cup guys that are in the booth with them? Why not put an Xfinity guy in the booth?
Yeah, a rotating Xfinity guy every week.
Why not? Why not?
I just think that you have so many endless options here, along with guys who haven't been in the sport in a while. He's another play-by-play guy, but Alan Bestwick.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He was great. Rutledge Wood he's kind of the NBC pick guy, but that was a name that came to my mind, but I don't think he would fit well now that I'm thinking about it.
Dale Jarrett still works for NBC, so
Dale Jarrett's another good one. I didn't think of Dale Jarrett, but Dale Jarrett would be cool. Even if you could pull Rusty Wallace away from.
How about Ward Burton?
Ward Burton. What about Wally Dallenbach?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one.
Wally Dallenbach coming back would be cool.
Yes, it would.
But That's all I have on that. Best of luck to Daryl Waltrip and whatever he does in
Yes.
the future. I look forward to see who Fox brings in next year to fill his role.
I got a quick story for you about DW.
Go ahead.
We were at one of the June races this was a couple years ago, and I'm walking around and all that, and DW's on a cart getting ready to go up to or getting ready to go down for to pit road to do the or to the Hollywood Hotel, and there was a little kid that asked for his autograph. And the driver of the cart told him, "Was like, we got to go." And DW was like, "Stop! I want to sign something for this kid." And so the driver stopped. DW signed it, and he took a picture with this kid. And like the driver wanted to consistently go because he's like, "Oh, you got a time, and we got to get there with this certain time." And Daryl's like, "I know when I have to be there. I want to stop and do this thing for this young man." And he did, and he signed it as the cat scratch just caught me so. But no, it was so cool to see. Like I gave him the thumbs up and everything like that. Like everybody around me like started cheering because he stopped and signed this for this little kid.
Yeah, that's an awesome story.
It was so cool to see, and that's cool. Like most drivers do that, stop and sign stuff. So always good stuff.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right,
Yep.
let's get through some social media and see what else I can do by putting my foot in my mouth. Trying to pronounce these things.
That would be hard to do.
We're trying to go perfect. I know I said Kyle Busch earlier when I meant Kurt Busch, but that's an honest thing. You get on a tangent.
You see the K.
At least it was the same series.
That is true.
Social media, here we go. We are at 1,234 downloads on Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher. 286 followers on Twitter, 72 likes on Facebook, 26 subscribers on YouTube. New follower shoutouts this week. We have Justin at SNES Justin, and we have a buddy of mine, Nicholas Berhalter at N Berhalter. He's a high school pitcher, Ryan, that I'm close with him and his brother. And on this past Friday, he pitched a no-hitter.
Oh, congratulations!
So that was awesome to see. He was in the headlines of the papers and all that, and they had video of it. It was really cool. He's going to he's got a scholarship to a college in, I believe it's North Carolina, for baseball. So it's really good for him. I'm happy to see him do so well right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Podcast shoutouts this week include the Lap Traffic Podcast, the PTM Racing Podcast, the My Opinion Therefore Fact Podcast, the All Turns No Brakes Podcast, 3 Wide Podcast, which we will have Eddie on this show following the Kansas races. We have the Side Draft Podcast, we have the Final Lap Weekly, and that does it for those. So places you could find us on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube by searching in your search bar the Loose Lugs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe, follow, turn on your notification bell so you get notified every time we upload content, and so you can hear that notification bell ding. Ryan?
Ding!
It's a new ding every week. I love it.
On
Twitter, we are at Lugs Podcast. You could tweet us about the show using the hashtag LugsPod. And just so you know, we are at 300 followers doing that giveaway still. We're only about 20 away from that, a little bit less than 20.
Nice.
So that's pretty good stuff.
Yes, it is.
On Facebook, we are in your search bar, the Loose Lugs Podcast. Our personal accounts, myself, Grey Goose F150 on Twitter, and Ryan.
Arvin Cola 88.
All right, Ryan, it is time for you to do your rant. I know you said you got a good rant this week, so let's get the woohoo in here. Woohoo! Go ahead, Ryan.
Speaking of which, congratulations to your buddy again on that no-hitter. I myself didn't have a no-hitter. I had a two-hitter in Little League. My grandfather had just passed away, and we came down because we're up in northern Michigan, and came down home, and I knew we had a game that night, and I'm like, Dad, I want to go play the game. My dad, who's managing it, was his dad that passed away. He's like, go play. I'm like, I don't think I can be there. And I'm like, all right. I get there, and the assistant coach is there, and he's like, I didn't expect to see you today. I'm like, no, I'm here. And I'm like, can I pitch? And he's like, yeah. I'll throw you in there at starter. I'm like, all right, cool. Pitch, two hit, two-hitter. We won the game, and I went 2 for 3 at the plate. So
Not a kid.
yeah, definitely awesome to see what positive things can do. And I mean, it was a negative that when my grandfather passed away, but a positive aspect in how I played that game of baseball. Rant this week, guys. Like I said, hopefully everybody had a wonderful week and enjoyed Thunder Valley. My rant is at the final restart of the race. You got cars that are 3 wide. Yes, I know NASCAR is on the radio trying to tell Keselowski to line up behind Dylan or vice versa. You as in the spotter stand or in the control room, see you have cars 3 wide. Okay, that's not how we start a race 3 wide. We can if we want to at some tricks. Get the caution flag right back out there before they go again to get these cars lined up. If the car that does not want to line up doesn't line up, stop and go penalty on pit road after the green flag has already fallen. I just don't. I think it was Bob Pockris that put it on his Twitter page that said that NASCAR didn't want to add an additional lap because of how quickly the lap times run at Bristol. Okay, I understand. I get that. But make it right. It was as a Keselowski supporter, I was as mad as he was, and if you guys have not listened to it yet, listen to what Keselowski said. I know it was the heat of the moment, the heat of the battle, but he had every right in the world to be as mad as he was. Like NASCAR doesn't know what they're doing, and it was just bad.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I agree with most of the things that he said there just because, and I don't know how true this was. It was just a little blip I saw on Twitter, and I don't know who posted it or how credible of a source it was, but NASCAR's reasoning for not delaying the restart was because they didn't, something along the lines of they didn't want to throw any extra laps of caution on there. And I was like, really?
Pockris' Twitter page right there.
Instead of getting it right, we're going to sit there and black flag a guy who didn't deserve to be black flagged because they didn't know where they needed to line up.
Exactly, and that's the whole issue with the communication issues. Like, I don't know. I
hear Logan telling his opinion on it.
Yeah, Logan's quite pissed about it too. So, but I like I said, it cost Keselowski a top 10 finish, I do believe. I'm not entirely sure where he ended up this race because of that penalty, but unreal. They're the best racing series out there, and for this to happen, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan.
Keselowski ended up 18th because of it,
and he had a top 10 car. So
yep, and he even came out and said during the walkthrough that he's sorry to Joey Logano because Logano had the 4 fresh tires that he would have caught up to him and eaten him alive. But, with 3 wide, Logano had to wait for somebody to get back in line so he could go. And it was just, I don't know. Like
that's a good teammate right there.
Oh, here's what you do. You want to know how you don't add another lap to it? You throw the caution flag out there. Laps don't count until you get the order right.
Could do that.
I would be all right with it.
You could do that.
Yep.
All right. White flag time, Ryan.
Didn't you say you might have a rant?
I kind of did mine with the Darrell Waltrip thing.
Okay, all right. AJ's rant, guys.
White flag time, Ryan.
All right.
Tight, keep working the mirrors. In line with you, coming to the white. Only 2.
White flag segment on the show. It's where we go over our predictions for the upcoming race weekend. This race weekend, we're in Richmond. Last week, we tied. Ryan won the Xfinity Series with Michael Annett. I won the Cup Series side with Chase Elliott. Ryan continues to lead our season standings now at 10-9. So this week, Ryan, you go first.
Man, we're like the wrestling at WrestleMania, back and forth action.
Oh, damn right.
That's right. Xfinity, short track. I'm going to go with the 39 of Ryan Sieg.
I'm going with Kaz Grala making his second start for Richard Childress Racing in the 21 car.
I almost thought about changing up on you to Elliott Sadler. I couldn't do it. I wanted to stick to my guns. So
on the Cup side, Ryan, who are you going with?
I'm going to kick myself in the ass for this, but I have to pick him one time. This is the time I'm going to do it. Give me the 11 of Denny Hamlin.
I'm going with the 2 of Brad Keselowski, best average finish among active drivers at Richmond.
Very good pick. Very good pick. Both our drivers run great there. So,
your sleeper pick.
My dark horse had a bad weekend at Bristol. Had a good weekend at Texas. But let's go with the William Byron as my pick.
I'm going with the 13 of Ty Dillon, following his epic stage win last weekend at Bristol. So I'm gonna ride the hot hand here.
Very nice, very nice.
And that does it.
Hey AJ, not only do we have racemen at Richmond, we also have the hockey playoffs. But there's another sporting event going on this weekend, and that's the Masters down in Augusta. AJ,
the green jacket is within reach.
Yes, and as Sarah gives her thumbs down on it because she doesn't like golf, I gotta ask you, AJ, 2 picks. Who's your 2 picks to win the Masters?
I think just because all the times he won it in the past, and I think he's due for a big win. I'll put him at my 2 though. He's not my main guy, but I'll go with Tiger Woods at 2.
All right.
Number 1, I want to go Jordan Spieth, but the last couple years he's just choked it away. Rory's been very good this year.
There he is.
But I gotta go with the Georgia boy, Bubba Watson.
Nice pick. Nice pick.
Former Master winner too.
Yes. He's won. I think he's won it a couple times actually. My 2 picks. My first pick is a guy that always plays well at this course. A couple times he hasn't. You took Tiger. I'm going to take Phil Mickelson on this one. I think lefty. I think he can be contending for a win.
I got to tell you the Jake Owen, Phil Mickelson story after the show.
Okay. All right. Nice.
It's pretty good.
But the guy I am picking to win the Masters, and you had mentioned his name, the guy's been playing some wonderful golf this year, driving the ball excellent, greens and regulations are good, putting the ball well. Give me Rory McIlroy to win the Masters.
I like Rory. That's a good pick.
Yeah, it's a tradition like any other. You know, man, what a week for Jim Nantz. Calling the national title game in college basketball, now down to Augusta for the Masters.
Yep. So that's it.
Yes.
Ryan,
good weekend.
Hit him with it.
Guys, enjoy Richmond this weekend. Enjoy the Masters if you watch it, hockey playoffs. Just enjoy the weekend, and we will see you guys at the track.
It's a great sports weekend, so stay close to your TVs this weekend. With that being said, thank you to Tony for coming out in our chat this week, talking with us a little bit. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to everybody who downloads this show. We appreciate each and every one of you. It's a great weekend for sports. Like I said, you got Richmond, you've got the Masters, you've got playoff hockey, playoff basketball starts this weekend. It's going to be a great sports weekend. Hope you all enjoy it.
Tiger baseball. Woo!
Woohoo! Just kidding. They suck.
Hey, 8-4, first place.
We can't say the same right now. We're hurt. We'll see you next week. We're out of here.